Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry for the slight delay there. We just had to get Shogun back in the room. He refused to come back unless we stopped talking about him talking in the third person. So and we are back now, and it's going to be Verbelli taking on Mercury Pencils in our next game. We have just seen, of course, FlyQuest take their game 3-0, but we're back, and it's time for some more action. Let's talk about these two teams. We're going to start with you, Achieves, because I can see Shogun's he's angry at the end there. He's angry. Look at him.
So a little bit of backstory. Corelli has been around the scene for forever. He played on a team called Jirelli's Goodies. He used to be actually good at this game, and now he's just kind of good at this game. Verblutin has also been around the scene for a really long time, has played with a lot of top-level players, big community guy. As for their opposition, Mercury Pencils, Vandry, and I'll just say DECXP, because I don't know how to say that name, to be honest.
We've got to figure it out very quickly here.
Yeah. If anything, you're up against it here.
Not too much to go on for these guys as well, just like the last game with... sorry, I forget their name already. Late Night Crew, right. Not too much to go off for those guys. So, interesting to see. Corelli and Verblutin were asking me in the Twitch chat to say nice things, and, well, if you play well, maybe I will.
That's a good point. What about you, Shogun? You calm down?
Have I calmed down? I was feeling calm. I walked back in here. I was feeling all good. And then he brought it back up again.
Look, if you make these mistakes, you're no one going to pounce on them. You know that you do exactly the same. So don't shake your head. You're just jealous that you didn't get there first.
I would never, in my entire career, wait for someone to make a mistake and then immediately pounce on it.
Use the hashtag UOS2 to put in every example you've ever seen of Shogun doing exactly that.
Because we
all know
one.
that they're out there. But, I mean, Shogun, what are you expecting from this game? Is it much like Achieves just sort of looking to, you know, again, some names that we might uncover here in the Universal Open Season 2?
I would definitely be a little bit afraid if I was Corelli and his teammate because, like I said, names that we're not too sure of. We're also not too sure. I mean, yes, we know Corelli used to be incredible at this game and very much the top level, but there are a lot of players out there have definitely dropped off in that amount of time. It's been at least 2 years now since he was at the top level. I mean,
he's still Grand Champ?
He's still Grand Champ, but I can tell you right now, it doesn't mean much.
Shogun
it doesn't mean much.
Ultra Grand Champ.
I was trying to say about saying that, just like that was gonna be self-deprecation.
Did you see that? That was like one of those things where Shogun again is like, I'm not going to bring it up because he knows that I'd go straight in and be like, you brought it up again. But he just skirted around it enough that one of us had to say something about it. Very smart. I respect that. I respect that. But
and
we are going into the game now. As we said previously, it's going to be Verbelli versus Mercury Pencils. It's a lower bracket game as well. So whoever wins this one stays alive. Whoever loses, unfortunately, it's the end of the tournament.
It's very much the case. As we get ourselves in here, Verbelli need to try and pick something up. Onsick gives me a heart across the screen because he knows that I have not even started on him yet. But he is definitely inviting it at this point in time.
He's asking for it. Great pass.
Good passing play. It's going to go up to Deck. And that name is a little bit easier to pronounce than the one that we were given on our sheet.
The XP really threw me for a loop, you know?
Yeah, DXP. Or Deck XP. Yeah, I'm glad we're not seeing that right now.
Right.
That's a good shot, though. Better save there from Deck. It will be 2v1 just for the time being, but no real capitalization from Verbelli.
Yeah, they're kind of just coasting through this first minute. I think they're really just kind of getting their toes wet here to start off and see what they're really up against. Good chance here, though.
Not able to turn it in. Deck does an incredibly good job of pushing that ball over to the side. Another infield pass attempted from them. They've attempted that a couple of times at this point. They don't want to make it too obvious, but at least they've got that in their arsenal. Vandry. Take a second flick afterwards. A lot more power there. I don't believe anyone was expecting, but still not all that dangerous. It really hasn't been too much dangerous from either side just yet. It's very much a neutral battle.
Ooh, Corelli caught a little too far forward.
We'll be able to save. Follow-up coming through from Deck. That's way too much angle for him to really follow up on. He's going to try and drop this for a teammate. Back out. Deck will wait to see his teammate. Try to clear. It wasn't too powerful, though. Corelli.
The most passive game of 2v2 I've ever seen.
I didn't know Corelli could do this passive.
Honestly, yeah, I actually totally agree with that. I've played with Corelli, and I've always made the... Well, not always, but I've made the joke that he plays Rocket League exactly like he posts on social media.
What, he misses?
Nah, he'll just try and style on people, and he plays really fast. It's like if you could put a meme god into Rocket League, it would be how Corelli plays it.
Oh, wait, that was definitely a great opportunity they had just a second ago. Corelli might get attempt number 2, but Can't turn that one on target.
Maybe Corelli tryharding is different than Corelli casual.
Well, it definitely is a case of it's a different format. It's a different style of play that
Oh
you
no,
go
I played
for.
duos with them. No, it's totally the same.
Feeling that little bit of pressure on him.
It is true.
Either way, it's still 0-0. We could be on our way to seeing that all-elusive 1-0 game. Only one of those last week. Shot going to go to the top, but Assail reads that one pretty comfortably. There's very little in terms of pace, either from the cars or from the players. That one is going to go to the side.
Oh.
Follow-up shot will be scored. There's 1-0.
And it finally took a really weak clear from Corelli. Verblutin tried to get the follow-up just because he knew that touch wasn't quite up there. It's just there's not too much beyond it. It's a poor clear. It's a little bit low to the ground, and it's capitalized on.
Just after complaining about the lack of power and the lack of pace on the ball, suddenly ends up being the difference maker. Vandry puts that one off the backboard. Follow up. Very late, Corelli. Much more venom on that hit. Deck.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Wait to the final second to use that second flip, but now it's 2v1. Assail Verb decides to go for
what a
himself.
catch.
And he takes it into the back of the net. 1 goal apiece.
Great play there from Verblutin. A solid dribble. Takes a lot of time in that midfield, buys that free real estate down into the orange side, just making him respect all the options he has there, and a solid finish. Maybe a little bit lucky with the catch off the post, but you take what you can get, and it's a brilliant equalizer in short order.
Wait for the entire game to get ourselves some goals on the board. And then immediately we get 2 right after one another.
Another chance here.
Back out, Corelli. He's got plenty of time. Decides to use the wall, can get the ball back to him, but just slightly misread where the bounce is going to go. Very weak touch there from Corelli. Should be able to be controlled by Deck. Well, the pass out is an option. Also playing it by himself. That's such a dangerous position to be in, especially if you're Vandry. He's got to try and figure out which of the 2 options was about to come towards him.
Yeah, Vandry and Deck really tied up right now. They don't have a lot of boost between them. There's only 11 on Deck, and it's a tough save, and somehow not put into the net.
Well, they've got to get it in nice and soon. That boost won't be gone forever on the side of Mercury. And we've seen plenty of counter-attacking goals in this tournament so far.
Oh, Verblutin just missed that corner boost steal. That's the big chance. Deck secured that corner boost, and that allowed him to get that clear there. They finally make a small error on the attack. They're able to break free.
It's a small error at a time that you can't really afford for that many of them. 1 goal could definitely be the swing, especially with only 20 seconds left on the clock.
Oof.
It's going to go back out. Vandry will watch. They're going to try and cover left and right. Deck covering the right. Back over to the middle. Shot off target. And Corelli will be happy to see that. He was in no position to take that one over. Over the top once again. As we head towards overtime. Deck.
Oh, nice play.
Lovely block there from Corelli. That will kill the ball dead. Overtime has been reached. This is game 1. This is all the makings of an incredibly close series.
And I kind of think whoever wins this kickoff wins the game.
No!
Yes.
Why would you send 2?
Let him have it, Shogun. Let him have it.
Oh, it's my most repeated phrase whenever I play solo standards. Why did you send 2? This time around, even more deadly. No one left around to defend that. And onset after an incredibly close game.
Your head was in your hands.
Always to end it.
I love how you just went to Shogun. Let him have it, because you could if you could have seen, if we had picture-in-picture of Shogun there, it was just like, oh come on. Yeah, a disappointing way to lose that
It's a bit of a
game.
tick at this point.
Yeah, exactly. It was a disappointing way to lose what was an incredibly tight game, though.
And the reason I actually said that I think whoever wins that kickoff wins the game is because we saw when Verbelli really got on the offensive there in the second half of that game, that final minute, it was just pressure, 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 and they had a lot of chances to put that one away, but also Vandry and Deck, when they got going as well, it was whoever controlled the pace of the play really had a pretty good chance, and as soon as they lost that kickoff, I mean, that was all she wrote. I didn't think it was going to happen in 6 seconds. I thought it might build up a little bit more than that, but well, as Shogun said, why would you send 2?
Especially, it was a double central kickoff, I believe.
It was not good. It was not good.
But I believe, like the starting positions, it was double central.
I'm not sure off the top of my head.
Because that's a very dangerous one to be sending 2 for, because
hard to direct
at least
the ball.
like when you've got 1 on the side, 1 down the middle, you've got a little bit more leeway. Like the ball's likely just to go left or right. But if you go for the double central cheat, you go forward and that ball goes behind you, you have no response. At least the other way around, you can realize, okay, I have nothing to do. I can turn around. I can continue to defend that. But if you go for that cheat up there, you've got no way of recovering.
It's very, very true. And I mean, it was a game of missed chances for Verbelli. They had so much pressure during that game. So, yes, they've lost that game, number one. You know, unfortunate mistake towards the end. But I don't think they'll be feeling too bad going into this game, number two, knowing that they were able to sustain that pressure and create so many opportunities.
It's interesting because they should, if they won that last game, they should have run away with the rest of this because they'd have had that confidence. They would have been slightly more aggressive, been there for each other's passes, and been a little bit sharper. But I'm not too sure now. If they take that loss and suddenly say, okay, we need to settle back a little bit more, I don't think that would be a good decision. So this is all down to their own mentality at this point and whether or not they have got the ability to keep the offensive going.
And that's really what I want to see out of both of these teams in game number 2. I kind of want to see a little bit more aggression from both of them. They're both playing really far back. It was a very passive game number 1.
Well, they are both in a position where a loss here sends them out of the tournament. Not only sends you out of the tournament, it sends you out of the tournament 0-2. Which just does not feel great at all, especially after all of the hopes that you would have coming in. Corelli stuck by himself, wasn't able to pick up the boost as part of his own pathing, so that will be quite far away. But now Deck, one-on-one, early jump, flip over the top. Who blinks first? Well, it certainly was not Deck.
Yeah, you want to talk about getting in people's heads. This is how you do it. Verblutin did the exact same thing on his goal last game, just forced the opposition to make a choice, and Deck says, what am I going to do with it? You don't even know. And he just made Verblutin look silly.
Well, Verblutin definitely won't have his confidence helped too much by the start of this game. But thankfully for us, Chiefs, we got ourselves a goal much earlier than we did in the last one. Those early goals definitely really open up these games. Deck, once again, starting to really seem
what a
on his game.
Yeah. He's picked up the pace around the field. He's coasting.
Oh, Vandry. Early jump from him. Deck beats the ball, but it's actually a pretty poor touch there from Vandry.
Oh,
Corelli's touch, though, seemed like he was taking it as a competition, equally as bad.
Deck not shy about going for bumps. I've been on his camera the past few minutes. If he has an option, he'll do it. Verblutin can't quite get the 360, or I guess it's a 180 backflip, isn't it?
It is dangerous to save, let's be honest. You've got to be able to go up there and get the challenge. The second touch, able to push the ball away. Mercury, seeming solid, off the backboard. Verblutin's got to get contact, and he has done so, but Deck waiting down on the ground. Corelli and Verblutin given time. Vandry instead holding that midline.
Oh, and they missed the boost.
He's going to control the ball down. It's dangerous. He's going to go hunting for Corelli, who was able to avoid.
It's only got 40 boost.
Yeah, this is going to be pretty much down to Verblutin to make something happen. Corelli, he tried there, but now it's going to be an open goal. Deck can't get there in time. Verblutin trying to keep this game alive. Shot not on target.
One-on-one.
Breakaway opportunity, but Deck turns around in time after his own recovery. This is a game of missed chances so far. It's been a series of missed chances so far.
I really like the aggression that Deck is putting out here in this game number 2.
Like especially with the pace that this has been going at. It's been needed, especially as Vandry wins the ball, and when you do that much work by yourself, you more than deserve to score it.
Yeah, just a hard cut here in the midfield. Corelli just doesn't get up to it, and Verblutin perhaps a little bit too much faith in Corelli winning that challenge, started pushing forward. He knew he couldn't possibly have the time to turn around. The best part is Vandry had no boost, so Verblutin totally did have the time to turn around and really get set to play defense. He just doesn't know that Vandry has no boost.
There comes Verblutin. Tried for the double tap. He's going to go straight out. Corelli might have just set up, especially if this touch is poor. It's poor enough just to keep that pressure on, but now cleared. Corelli in the midfield. He takes the shot. Will not trouble the goal line. 2 goals is the deficit.
They need something right about now.
Off that backboard, once again, this seems to be the bread and butter. This time it's going to work out. Mercury have looked shaky off that backboard multiple times. And finally, Verbelli able to open them up.
And it was also a really well-placed ball by Verblutin off that back wall. He didn't get it too close, put it well off to the side, just out of reach. It's a very tough decision you have to make as a defender in that spot. Do you bother going up and trying to get this one out? And they get it back on the kickoff. Oh, man, they've tied it up.
Wow, that took no time at all. And after the last kickoff went so badly against them at the end of the last game, that one has got to feel so good for Verbelli. They've tied this game up. They've got the momentum on their side. And now Mercury, they've got to pick themselves up here because
out of nowhere,
survival is going to be very difficult for 2 minutes. In fact, it might be very difficult for 20 seconds, although the shot from just not very good. Vandry taking his time. Almost took too much time there, but instead able to bait out the challenge.
Oh, no boost here from Corelli. Not much to do except steal it and leave.
He definitely does steal it. He's now turned himself around. Can't afford to double commit.
And Corelli and Verblutin really crowding each other a lot here.
Back down. Boost stolen by Deck. Wins the challenge. He can set something up here. Shot though. On target.
Oh, man.
3-2. Mercury on the verge of match point.
I honestly think this is a product of Verblutin and Corelli just kind of following the ball and chasing each other around the pitch a little bit. They don't have that clean spread of the field. It's hard to respect options from both sides of the pitch. They're just coasting around each other, following each other, and they leave an open part of the pitch, and Vandry takes perfect advantage of it. It's a brilliant shot.
I'd like to see a little bit more of here from Verbelli. It's just what is typically referred to as slingshot defense. Put someone back in the goal line and then force them straight out towards the ball. But coming at it from weird angles where even if they do get the ball, it's being pushed to a weird corner or it's giving a teammate or their opponents plenty of time to sort it back out.
2-on-1.
Back around the side.
Oh, they got
Boost.
the bump. Corelli wasn't ready for the bump.
And now that bump might have just set Deck free. If only had that little bit more boost to try and move the ball forward.
All right,
30 seconds.
Let's see it, Corelli. Do it to him.
Corelli, he's going to try and sort something out, but couldn't get past Vandry's defense. One goal is all Verbelli need, but right now they are trying to stave off this wave of pressure from Mercury. The touch, not great. Vandry gives him too much time, though.
Oh, my goodness.
He just watched the ball, and you're not going to miss those.
I just want to see it one more time from Verblutin's perspective. Oh, Vandry, it took too long to turn around. He didn't choose if he wanted to challenge or go back to net.
I think he made like 3 different decisions there in the space of 2 seconds.
The unforced error.
Verbelli able to come back out. Can they steal the game? They have robbed it away from Mercury.
Onset looks like you after the end of the last game, Shogun. It's brilliant. It's brilliant.
Elation for Verbelli. Remember, if they lost this game, they were on
tournament
just one
point.
game away from being knocked out of the tournament, but it's not over just yet. Got to keep that ball off the ground. Has done so very well so far. That's going to be so difficult, though. Comes off the side, doesn't hit the lip. One game apiece here.
Can we talk about kickouts for a moment here, gentlemen?
Yeah,
because,
what do you want to talk
not?
about?
Yeah,
what do you want to talk about?
Game 1, the game was won
Okay.
with a kickoff, a mistake.
Game 2, the game was won.
There was 2 kickoff goals in that one, and again, mistakes coming in. I mean, why are these players making these mistakes at this level?
They're going for kickoffs. You just sit everyone on the goal line.
We need the 4-man fake kickoff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to see everyone run at the ball and just run away from the ball immediately afterwards.
That's bot MO 101 right there.
Well, we'd see less kickoff goals, which I believe is what we're after here.
We would see less, but there were a number of really great opportunities like that one for Mercury Pencil to really put Corelli and Verblutin away here in game number 2. And again, it's missed opportunities for both of these teams. And at the end of the day, Corelli and Verblutin were just able to convert a couple more of theirs.
Yeah, it definitely seemed like there was some mistakes, though, from Mercury when the pressure was really on them and they were asked to make defensive decisions. They didn't really make those decisions when they've got the pace on their side. They definitely seem very good at making snap-second decisions. But when you give them time to just say, what do you actually want to do, that's when they struggle.
Yeah, especially towards the end of the game, like we saw, there was one defensive mistake. It was indecision. It was, and sometimes pressure can do funny things to people. We talked about it before. If that happens in the first 10, 15 seconds of a game, that's a totally different play. That's a play where, you know, he can have conviction in what he's going to do. But when you're up by 1 goal, you're like,
I can't let it
do
go
I want to
in?
travel goal? Do I want to? You know, as soon as the opportunity is created, and that's what happens. But I mean, a good performance. Now we're tied up at 1-1 once again. missed opportunities we must talk about. There was a few in there that we'll just sweep under the carpet a little bit.
I love how we can at this point.
I love how you say it though. It's just like, that was bad. Okay, that's fair. Because those are opportunities that if you want to stay in the tournament, that you have to take. It's quite simple.
I mean,
Exactly.
I would happily swept those on the rug, but that's 2 games in a row now that we are seeing these mistake shots where people just need to be able to clean their plates, and it just hasn't happened so far. But whichever team does manage to do so, I would definitely say is the most likely to be able to move on to the next round.
Well, here's your most telling of games. Game 3 starts off with a banger right in the middle of the net. Deck able to save that one, but I want to see Corelli and Verbluten really fix their defensive positioning. They got to spread the field on when they rotate back on defense, or else they're asking to put themselves in a hole again, I think, here in Game 3.
Well, it's going to be one-on-one. Verbluten. Nice to take it up high. It's Corelli now forced to take the ball under his own possession. Not able to get there first. Verbluten up high, looking to try and bounce it off the backboard. He can follow up. It's going to be a very hard angle.
Okay.
An elaborate pass there to Corelli.
Yeah. Intentional, suspect, but either way, it worked.
Still working. They're in the offensive side of the field, but for how long?
Nice
Deck
play.
hounding away at Corelli, who does
Corelli
get the
won that
boost.
boost,
Both
yeah.
of them were trying to chase after that, and now they just sweep up underneath him. Verbluten, he's not recovered well here. Might actually open up some
Double commit.
options. And then the
they missed
shot.
it.
We talked about it just a moment ago. And once again, shot accuracy plaguing Mercury. They should be up 1-0.
Yeah, and Verbluten and Corelli, I mean, they're kind of gifting them these opportunities again with the poor rotations on defense, and you got to be able to capitalize on that. Great chance here, the fake, and it doesn't pay off. Corelli maybe expecting a hard pass, Verbluten let it go.
Now back down. Deck
Chance.
choosing to go all the way back. Seems like it might have been the correct decision.
Oh, he wanted it. Good idea.
Verbluten up high now. Might not last too long as Deck wants to go for the dunk. Just not quite there. This is a very tense affair between these two. All or nothing defense. Doesn't really seem to be much happening in the mid-ground.
Nice challenge from Vandry there.
That's going to go
Forced
for
it
the
in, wow.
shot! The deadlock is broken! Mercury up once again, 1-0.
Great decision there to just follow that ball. It didn't cost too much boost to continue that play and potentially have something good come out of it. And, you know, you create your own opportunities. You're not necessarily sure if it's going to work, but, I mean, you've got a chance. Why not go for it? And he creates a chance for himself, and it's a brilliant finish. That's a well-executed goal from Vandry.
Well, going to have to try and look to grab a second. Not sure I quite trust this Mercury team with a 1-goal lead, especially
Agreed.
with this much time remaining.
Agreed.
They've got to stay on the offensive.
Oh.
Back down. Just
What
required
a play
a tap.
from Corelli. What a play.
But Corelli turns his car from an Octane to a bumper car. Takes away the danger. Now he wants to add some new danger to the other side of the field. Once again, went heat-seeking missile. But Yandri able to move away. Corelli, once again, seems like he's got a new lease on life. I love this new pace. He's got to stick with it, though.
And the big question is, every time we've seen Verbelli get in a good situation like this, with pressure on the offensive half, can they clear the ball? And that is a boomer of one.
Also a missed touch. Vandry maybe respecting the defense just a little bit too much there. Could have potentially gone in for the shot.
Corelli's hunting for boost. He's got nothing.
It's going to be enough to see that one just above the back of the net. Would love to see Mercury. Seems like they're just trying to bait something out by putting it up high. Would love to see him put it just on target, force a save, maybe force a poor save out that you can immediately follow up.
They need this. Great opportunity. Great
Infield,
pass.
Corelli up the top, but it's such a slow shot. And in the immortal words of Wrong Way Woody, I shall repeat, it's the slow ones that catch ya.
Throw him the changeup. You'll get him almost every time. Also, great play from Verbluten, forcing the opposition to jump a little bit early. Went for the bump, went for the demo, force him to move and make a reaction. And at that point, you're kind of committed. And the slow shot from Corelli combined with the pressure from Verbluten gets him home.
Corelli back over, 1 goal apiece. We said just a moment ago that maybe 1 goal was not going to be enough for Mercury. It turns out it was not.
Nice bump.
has gone from such a nervy affair to everyone just trying to ram into one another. And
one.
now it's 2 goals to 1. Verbelli, the moment that they went a goal down, it suddenly seemed like the switch got flicked and they said, oh, wait a second.
Hang on.
Let's maybe up the pace here.
Yeah, let's... Once they started doing that, Deck and Vandry really haven't got a pretty strong hold on this game. They're definitely having to react. And also combine that with the fact Corelli and Verbelli are controlling the boost very well, pass in front and defend it, and that might be in. It's going to be just off the mark, though.
Do love the creativity, though, from Corelli. Just in a position that was going to be very difficult to challenge. That will go blasting off to the side. Only a few more opportunities left here for Mercury. Victory here does put Verbelli up onto match point, and that demo not only gives the ball back over, but wastes precious seconds off the clock.
Pass.
Corelli straight down. Needs to get a little bit more to the right if he wants to get the pass off. And now use every single inch of the pitch. Does get red though. Back out, Corelli, unchallenged. Surprising there from Mercury.
I think Deck kind of felt he might have had a better shot trying to read where the pass was going to go instead of challenging, because if he challenges and they miss, then the game gets put away, but now they have one last chance.
Deck keeps it up. That's going to go ricocheting over the side.
Oh,
Too central there. Verbelli able to come back yet again. It's starting to become a bit of a theme here.
It's a dogfight every time they have to do it, and you're never sure if it's going to work out. But it seems at the end of every single game they've played, the pace has picked up significantly from them.
Mostly towards the end, though.
Exactly.
On set. We're seeing very slow starts these games, but then a goal goes in like 100 seconds, 90 seconds left, and everything just starts picking up.
It's almost like we've seen repetition of the same pattern of play throughout every single game so far. It's been Mercury Pencils who score the first goal, and then from there, they're basically just on the back foot for the majority of the game, but they're just not taking the chances. But again, Verbelli, you know, they pull out the win there. That's an important one because now they're on match point.
Yeah, it definitely seems very... There's 2 different Mercury teams that we're seeing on this pitch. One when it's dead even or they're behind, and one when they're in the lead. They need that one where they're dead even or behind to become the main team, the one that we're seeing all the time, because when they take the lead, they get very cautious.
We're seeing a lot of pressure, don't they?
They definitely invite a lot of pressure. There's a lot of times where they're very close to the center of the field, where any sort of variety in a challenge and the ball goes flying off somewhere, they're not really in a position to go and challenge or keep that pace up. So I would like to see them keep moving, because every time they slow down, they start making very weird decisions.
And also it helps that Verbelli are doing a nice job controlling the boost on their own part of the pitch. We see a lot of times somebody on Mercury Pencils, be it Vandry or Deck, they go and try and challenge for those corner boosts in that blue half of the pitch, and they lose them almost every single time, and it just takes them that far out of position.
Gotta say, that was definitely Corelli's best game so far.
Yeah,
he seemed a lot more at his own pace. He was happier to use a lot more whiff. There's been a number of times in the previous games where we've seen him just hit the ball as quickly as he's got it, but this time around, happy to take it up on the ceiling, force some space. Almost opened up for an easy shot, but it also almost got challenged and put into the own net, as is the risk that you run into. But this is going to be the perfect start, and we might just very well see a break to the pattern. Verbelli get the first goal.
Well, now we do get to see Mercury Pencils play from behind for the entire game, so that'll be an interesting experience. We'll have to see what they do.
The first thing they need to do is get this kickoff in their favor. And it is, however, it's on the far side.
This is the first game that Verbelli have scored first.
Big pressure right now on Mercury. They have to win this, otherwise they are eliminated.
Good chance
from
here.
Season 2 of Universal Open, and Deck has responded magnificently.
Deck has played this expertly. You are not wrong. And on the flip side of the coin, Verbelli has made a terrible decision coming out of the midfield. He had
Deck
no
with
boost.
the flip. It was actually Andri.
Oh yeah, okay. Deck is the finisher, but Andri wins the critical challenge. But Verbelli out of the midfield, 0 boost. And well and truly beat to that ball, and he bit real hard and cost his team a big goal there.
Mercury, as we mentioned, better when behind. Now Yandri with the shot into the net, and suddenly the story is back.
And we've seen this shot a couple times here from Mercury Pencils. Corelli's not in the worst spot, but he is edging a little bit forward, and again, a perfectly placed ball into the far post. almost unsavable unless you're already there.
Suddenly the roles are switched here. Mercury gotta keep their lead intact. What a demo there from Deck. The shot was a gimme at that point, and now he's off dodging, just trying to keep that ball away from his net. He's got plenty of boost to move this, and he has done as such before finally being taken out with the way he was playing. Might be the only way to try and stop that, but the shot not on target. Follow-up will be. Mercury up 3-1.
Now that initial shot is something that Vandry is going to have to put home if they play later rounds of this bracket. That was a wide open net on that first chance. And if you give teams the second chance like that, that are a couple steps above Corelli and Verbluten, if you can't convert those, you're probably going to get creamed. But either way, it's a great conversion right there. They got a 2-goal lead, a pretty good chance to equalize up the series now.
The goal scoring rate that we're seeing in this game, I won't put anything past anybody, as that's going to be Corelli. The setup play was incredibly good, but it was right into the body. Now Deck trying to launch. Verbluten can't follow up his own touch, but he might not need to. And is that some of the hesitation that we have criticized Mercury Pencils for starting to rear its head?
It's kind of an interesting question, because they got to respect the fact that Verbluten has the ability to launch that ball down the pitch. At the same time, they have two people right there. One of them could definitely go for it. I think they're just in that, okay, hold on to this lead mindset. And that's cost them a couple times before.
3 minutes in a game of twos. That 2-goal lead,
Feels
very
like an
flimsy compared to it
eternity.
would be in a 3v3 game. Deck looking to try and find some way of gaining some breath. Shot on target, once again saved.
And again, Corelli and Verbluten controlling this boost on the opposition side in the midfield. They're making it very hard for Vandry and Deck to get a foothold in this game.
Deck can't put that straight into the body of Corelli. This is exactly why.
Oh, missed
off
it.
the crossbar.
But they keep stealing all that boost, and they just keep the pressure up. Yeah, they know they missed a big chance, but Deck and Vandry don't have a lot to work with here.
Rather interestingly, that back left one on the side of the orange team was left. Still hasn't been picked up just yet. Deck seems comfortable with what he's got. Seems like the right idea. He is flipping and flopping. It's working, I assume.
It's great traversal of the pitch. I mean, I know I would have messed that up and just spun out, so well played. Keep the speed up and the pressure going, but they need to win this challenge here out of the midfield.
Good flick. That actually didn't do too much to delay. It's going to be Deck all by himself, and to be honest, he didn't have much control over that situation. Verbelli just couldn't get the shot anywhere that would really trouble Mercury Pencils. And with every second that passes, Game 5 becomes more and more likely, but we've now hit that 90-second mark, and every time we hit this mark, the game explodes into action even more than previous, and we're seeing this from the pressure as Verbluten couldn't make contact. Any sort of touch there from him likely would have put the ball into the back of the net.
And here's the amazing part, is that Corelli and Verbluten really are commanding this game. They're saying, look, we're driving the pace, you're going to have to stop us. And Vandry and Deck have met almost every single challenge, and they might be able to put it away. Corelli's back too quick.
Another shot. Far to the right.
Got to put that in. Tough shot, but it needs to go in.
Needs to at least be closer into an area. There's Corelli. What a shot from him. Verbluten keeps that pressure on. Verbelli want this over in Game 4. Corelli knows that he's not going to be able to get to that one. Don't expect to see Mercury Pencils do anything other than blast that ball as far away from their net as it possibly can be. There's no follow-up there. What a block as well. There's going to be very low boost on the side of the defense. Not around, but there is Deck. Every single time Verbelli think they've got a way through, suddenly another head of the Hydra spawns. And now with 14 seconds remaining, Game 5 could very well be on its way. We didn't see any Game 5s last week in day number 1.
Yeah.
But it definitely seems like we've got ourselves a much closer region. Verbelli, they know their fate. They know what they've got to deal with.
Oh, they get one.
There's
Why
one
not?
for momentum at the very least.
Yeah, why not? It's got to feel good to at least finally crack the shell. Because like I said, I mean, for 3 minutes, Deck and Vandry didn't do hardly anything.
It was very much the same old story from Mercury Pencils. They went very defensive as soon as they got the lead, especially when they went 2-0 up. The only difference to this story is the defense was solid this time around.
That's very, very true, and I feel like Deck was a contributing factor to that. I feel like in the first couple of games it was more his teammate Vandre that was making a lot of saves, and playing slightly further back, and Deck was playing a lot quicker. But Deck made some huge saves in that one.
And it is due to his very smooth traversal around the pitch. He was moving around the pitch very well. He's demoing, forcing options out of the offense, and getting a lot of stuff that you don't really get to see credited in the scoreline. Vandre's here at the top of the scoreboard for his team with 450, but Deck was the big determining factor on defense, I felt like, in that game number 4. And it's just how many options he was able to cover by the defense. Just such great positioning and speed around the pitch. It's tough to get around a player like that.
And very rarely, I mean, we see it from a lot of the goals here. Pretty much every single goal scored is being scored when Verbelli are rotating back to the defense. We're seeing an awful lot in this game of Mercury Pencils being forced to consistently defend on their own goal line. We're never seeing it on the blue side of the field, yet still, we've hit game 5. There are game plans being employed, either intentionally or not, but it is definitely a case of defense versus offense. How well can Verbelli keep that midfield held, or will their one player get beat to a ball and suddenly it opens up?
Well, that's the big credit to Mercury Pencils there in that game number 4. The fact that they were able to hold off that offense for that long, and despite being demoed and boost starved for that long, able to just cruise around their own side of the pitch with 25, 30, maybe 40 boost and just continue to keep them out of the net. It was a very well-played defense. It obviously isn't how you'd like to play the game. I always say fortune favors the offense in Rocket League.
It's a risky way to play the game, isn't it? Because you only have to make that one mistake,
exactly.
and you can concede. But we're into a game 5 now. Very excited about that, to be honest with you, and excited at the fact that we got an extra goal at the end of that one. Just love goals. But obviously it's game 5 now. Gentlemen, I want quick predictions here, because it's whoever scores the first goal seems to lose. Do you think that pattern's going to continue here?
Fortune favors the offense. I stick with Verbelli. I think they'll break it.
Oh, I'll have to go the other side, just for the sake of being the contrarian. But Onset is completely right. First goal has always seemed to struggle. That might have actually been
the worst way to
Bluten's
score the first
idea
one.
there.
Yeah.
Sort of hand that one away. And then suddenly it's your game to win.
Now we win, yeah.
That's going to go over the top as well. Okay, don't make it too obvious what you're going for here, but still, Deck. What a goal that was to score.
Oh, it was so pretty. It was so smooth coming off of his own back wall, kept a nice straight line, driving up the center of the field, got a nice lift off that back wall. That's a textbook clear from your back half that turns into an opportunity and a clean conversion. Well played, Deck.
I'll definitely say Deck's main skill that I've been noticing is his ability to recover.
Yeah.
Definitely always seems like he's in a position where he's out of the play, there's nothing else he can do, and then suddenly he's right back in there.
He's brilliant, I agree. Great movement.
Corelli looking for the infield. Too far out. Offers an opportunity for Vandre to move forward and get a hold of a tackle. Everything to play for here. And this is merely the bottom of the mountain that these teams have got to climb.
Yeah, that's the scary part, is this will not be the toughest match for either of these two teams.
Corelli. Just over the top. It's going to be difficult to create too much here as he tries to pass it back to his own teammates. Shot should not trouble Deck too much as he races for that boost. And for Bluten wants to go the entire way. Has Deck got another miracle goal in him? Just
a beautiful catch.
We need to check. Have we got spikes only mode on? It definitely could be a case here. Now Deck has got it past one.
Ooh,
and he won't
nice
be able
bump.
to get it past another one. That was a little bit of a revenge demo or a bump there from Corelli. Now getting the setup. It's a hope. It's a jump. There's no chance of saving that one, though. 1 goal apiece.
I really was questioning whether this one would pay off because of that almost big mishap in the midfield. They almost just ran straight into each other. But Corelli, presence of mind, not trying to do too much, just threw it off the backboard, said, look, Verbelli, I know you're good enough to hit a 2-tap off the back wall. Let's get this one home and equalize.
The bread and butter of Rocket League.
The bread and butter. That used to be the corner roll, Shogun. Do you remember back when rolling the ball around the corner was the bread and butter?
Can't wait for the day that triple flip resets to the bread and butter of Rocket League.
Oh, man.
We're all going very hungry at that point.
Yeah, Rapid's goal from last week. That's the bread and butter right there. Come out of the corner with a flip reset and into the top of the net. Easy.
Sure. That might be as I'm terrified as you said that out. The Tell you what could be terrifying, this offensive, but using the back of the goal. I love that creativity from Mercury.
Ooh.
Seems like slight amount of pressure on them makes them crumble. You put a lot of pressure on them, though. You put a game 5 in front of them. They're stepping up quite well here, and so are Verbelli.
Much
Ball
more
back out.
equal distribution of pressure. Huge miss.
It's a poor touch, but he's going to be there in time.
Vandrew was facing the wrong way, and Verbluten gave him a little clip as well, just to make sure he couldn't give himself a clean opportunity at that one. So a nice heads-up play to fix the mistake.
It's going to feel so good as well when you get to fix your own mistake.
Yeah. It's like, don't panic, I can fix this, hang on.
There was nothing wrong.
All planned.
Stop screaming at me. Corelli, 0 boost on him. Doesn't pick up the mid boost either, and that's going to be Deck with an opportunity. He's put it up too high. Verbluten didn't take the bait, but he didn't need to. Vandry has put his team 2-1 up. Less than 2 minutes remaining.
Crazy tough choice for Verbluten to make there. Does he go up the back wall and try and catch it? I think you kind of have to, just because if you come off the ground where he chose to go, you're kind of at the mercy of your opposition. There's no way you're going to be able to get up and challenge that one, but a tough play and a well-executed pass. Curly with a fake on the kickoff, a hard cut, and he's going to need some help.
He's got the infield pass option. Couldn't quite get it to execute properly, though. Mercury pencils. 100 seconds away from advancing to the next round. Verbelli, 100 seconds away from going 0-2 in the tournament. You know that they don't want that. You know that they're going to put everything into this final minute and a half of the game.
Oh, double commit.
Bounces back out. Corelli is backwards, though. Can't do too much.
The boost spawn there also very fortunate for Deck. It's going to let them break out of their own half here.
Verbluten going to try and follow here. Touch is
Not a
not
good
great.
touch.
Corelli, where is he? Is he the option? No, Verbluten isn't able to get there before being slammed into. And now suddenly the breakaway opportunity.
Gotta put this in.
Deck has got to find the back of the net. He's got to hit the crossbar twice. Not once, 2 times in a row. And now
the cushion is gone. Now it's tension.
Very dangerous. Mercury pencils, if this game gets tied up, they will rue that miss.
Ooh.
Corelli's touch, not great, but he does become a passing option. It's straight down the middle.
Pass.
And that shot is not on target either.
2 missed opportunities.
Verbelli, not looking great in the final minutes so far. Have got to find a moment of magic.
Nice fake.
Faked out challenge.
Oh, he gave it up.
His touch, it's basically a pass back down to himself, needs to flick. Doesn't flick it early enough, though.
Oh, poor communication.
They're going to go all the way back.
Time wasted.
Corelli's going to be on low boost as well. They're still going for it. They recognize it's their only opportunity. And for the first time, Mercury pencils challenging the midline. They know how close they are to this victory. Corelli.
Last chance.
Pops up.
That's it.
Vandry will fake out the challenge. Verbelli out and Mercury pencils, they will move on to the next round on set.
Gentlemen, I mean, it shows that the pressure, they didn't take advantage of it, and now they're gone. They're as simple as that. The lower bracket, they're gone. They're out, and it's Mercury pencils who take the win.
My biggest regret is that I will only get to call the lower bracket the caster's bracket one time, and now I won't get to say it anymore because Corelli decided to lose. So thanks, Corelli. Appreciate it.
Don't worry, we still got you here. We'll look after you. But yeah, I mean, you have to say on the pattern of play there, a genuine surprise that they've actually managed to pull off that win, considering that they were under pressure for a good 80% of that series.
I saw Deck pull off this right here, and I just said to myself, why, oh why, did you have to be that good at this moment in time? Because that was definitely following a little bit of the script that seemed to have been in place throughout this series, but at any time to break it, Game 5 is the time to do exactly that.
I agree. They decided, like, look, we know we can't afford to sit here and let these guys come at us. A shot differential much more even, 6-6. And at the end of the day, despite Deck and Vandry not able to put those almost free chances that they had in the later seconds of that game, still able to stick it out, come out on top. And if there's one game that Corelli and Verbluten are really going to be kicking themselves for that they didn't win, it's going to be that game number 4.
Yes, it absolutely is, but I mean, it could have been over a little bit earlier. They've definitely got to try and clean that up and get these shots on target. I feel like we were harping on that quite a bit, but when you see it over and over again, it can definitely be difficult not to.
That's the big thing they need to fix.
On the side of Verbluten and Corelli, though, that last minute, they just didn't respond that well. They
panic, little panic.
They seemed to go for 7 maybe chances rather than creating one great one.
Yeah.
And it didn't work.
It's yeah, you know, you need an equalizer. It's game number 5. You lose this, you're out of this $100,000 tournament. There's a lot on the line, and you don't have time to sit here and really think, okay, this is what we need to do to get this solid chance. Let's just hit the ball. Let's get it past this first guy, and more often than not, that leads to just a clash of ideas, and it sort of crumbled there in that last minute or so.
Yeah, the pressure did tell, but one thing that we do have that is good news to bring to you is obviously 21 goals in that series, and thanks to our friends over at Soylent, that means 210 meals going towards the World Food Programme over in North America. Of course, if you guys want to get involved, and we hope that you will as well, head over to wfpusa.org/.
Universal Open.
Yes, it's the first time I've done it to you, and you've absolutely nailed it. But
attention.
all for a fantastic cause, 21 goals in that series. And of course, we always want to hear from you guys at home as well. So use that hashtag. Shogun, it's your go.
UO.
Oh, he wasn't ready. He wasn't ready.
Right behind his head.
UOS2 to get in touch with the guys here or myself, anyone on the desk that you want to give your predictions and thoughts to on the Universal Open presented by Brisk and 7-Eleven. Please get in touch. But gentlemen, our second game of the day is done. We have eliminated our first team. Now we're going to go for a very quick break. But when we get back, of course, we'll have our third game of the evening. So don't go anywhere. This one's going to be a good one.